Your mind is a runaway train. Right now it's racing, hurtling through a landscape of worries. That project at work, the bills due next week, a conversation you keep replaying. It's exhausting, isn't it? This feeling of being pulled in a dozen directions at once, carrying a massive, invisible weight. But what if I told you that 80% of that weight isn't yours to carry? What if most of it was placed there by you, but belongs to someone or something else entirely? The ancient Stoics, the original masters of mental resilience, discovered a simple but profound mental trick. A two-column exercise so powerful it can separate your burdens and instantly release you from the stress you were never meant to control. This isn't about ignoring your problems, it's about focusing your strength where it actually matters, transforming that frantic, exhausting energy into calm, deliberate power. Stay with me, and I will show you exactly how to empty that backpack. I'll teach you the mental sort that will allow you to set down the vast majority of your stress and walk away lighter, freer. Before we jump in, if topics like this would help you become a better, stronger, and more confident person, then tap like and subscribe. It will allow you to see more videos like this, and it truly helps me grow this small, new channel more than you may think. Thank you. Let's talk about that invisible weight. What's really inside it? It's filled with the ghosts of tomorrow and the regrets of yesterday, overflowing with what ifs. What if I fail? What if they don't like me? What if I lose my job? What if this headache is something serious? Each of these questions is a stone, and with each stone, your cognitive load increases. That's a clinical term for the total mental effort being used in your working memory. When it's high, your mind feels cluttered, slow, overwhelmed. It's like trying to run a dozen heavy programs on a computer with no RAM. It freezes, it crashes, you crash. And this isn't just a mental state, it's a physical one. It manifests as tension in your shoulders, a shallow breath you don't even notice, the lingering fatigue that coffee can't fix. This isn't a personal failing, it's a feature of modern life. We are bombarded with information, with news from across the globe, with curated realities on social media that invite constant comparison. We live in an age of unprecedented cognitive overload. Think about it. How much of your energy today was spent on things that haven't happened yet? How much time did you dedicate to a past event that cannot be changed? You're not alone. The Roman philosopher Seneca wrote nearly 2,000 years ago, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." That's truer today than it was in ancient Rome. We live in our imaginations, rehearsing tragedies that will likely never occur. This is the invisible weight. The stress of carrying problems that are not yet real or were never in our power to solve. This is the 80%, and the moment you learn to see it for what it is the moment you can begin to set it down. So, how do you do it? How do you tell the difference between the stones you must carry and the ones you must leave behind? The answer lies in the single most important principle of Stoic philosophy, the dichotomy of control. The Stoics weren't dusty academics. They were men of action. Marcus Aurelius was a Roman emperor. Seneca was a statesman and one of the wealthiest men in Rome. Epictetus was born a slave and became a revered teacher. They lived in a world of plagues, wars, and constant uncertainty. Their philosophy wasn't abstract ideas, it was a practical toolkit for surviving and thriving in a chaotic world. At the heart of this toolkit is a simple distinction. As Epictetus taught, some things are within our power, while others are not. That's it. That is the fundamental principle that changes everything. He argued that nearly all human suffering comes from a simple misclassification, believing we have control over things we do not. Think of your life as a ship at sea. You cannot control the ocean, the wind, or the weather. Wasting energy trying to calm the waves is a recipe for exhaustion and despair. The Stoic insight is to stop fighting the sea and instead focus all your energy on the one thing you do control, the rudder of your ship. The trick is to see the line between the weather and the rudder with absolute clarity. The exercise is to consciously divide every worry into one of two columns. things I can control, and things I cannot control. So this isn't about becoming passive. It's the exact opposite. It's about becoming ruthlessly effective. It's about a strategic reallocation of your attention away from the unwinnable battles and onto the fights you can actually win. This is where your power lies. This first column is the only place you have true agency. But what really belongs here? It's a shorter yet far more potent list than you imagine. First, your judgments, your opinions about events. Notice, it's not the events themselves. As Epictetus said, people are disturbed not by things, but by the views which they take of them. Someone cuts you off in traffic. That's an external event you don't control. Your judgment about it, however, is entirely within your control. You can judge it as a personal insult and let it ruin your morning. Or you can judge it as the action of someone distracted or in a hurry and immediately let it go. Your peace is determined by your judgment. Second, your efforts. You cannot control whether you get the promotion, but you have absolute 100% control over the effort you put in. The Stoics use the analogy of an archer. The archer controls their training, their posture, their breath, their aim, their release. But once the arrow leaves the bow, a sudden gust of wind is not in their control. The wise archer, therefore, attaches success not to hitting the target, the outcome, but to shooting as perfectly as possible, the effort. This is a profound shift. It means you can be successful in every endeavor because success is defined as giving your best effort, regardless of the result. Third, your actions, your responses. You can't control what someone says to you, but you have complete control over how you choose to respond. You can choose to meet anger with anger, escalating the conflict. Or you can choose to meet it with calm, diffusing the situation. Your actions are the only levers you can pull to influence the world. Finally, you control your character. Day by day, choice by choice, you are building the person you are. Will you choose to be patient or irritable, courageous or fearful, principled or opportunistic? These are not fixed traits. They are the result of continuous choices that are entirely within your sphere of control. I used to be obsessed with outcomes. My self-worth was a roller coaster, soaring on praise and crashing on criticism. When I discovered this principle, I shifted my focus. My goal was no longer to get the contract, but to deliver the best possible proposal. The peace that came from that was extraordinary. I was no longer at the mercy of external forces. I was in charge of my own success because my success was my effort, and that was something no one could ever take from me. Now, the second column, the domain of the uncontrollable. This is the source of that 80% of stress. To list what goes here is to list the primary sources of human anxiety. First, the actions and opinions of other people. You cannot control what your boss thinks of your presentation, what your friends say behind your back, whether your partner is in a good mood, or if a stranger approves of you. Trying to control what others think is like trying to hold water in your hands. It's a futile and exhausting exercise. Second, external outcomes. As we saw with the archer, the final result is not entirely up to us. You can be the most qualified candidate and not get the job. You can plan the perfect vacation and have it rain every day. To tie your inner peace to a specific outcome is to gamble your happiness on a roll of the dice. Third, the past and the future. This is so obvious, yet we spend so much energy here. We ruminate on past mistakes, replaying them in our minds. We create elaborate future scenarios of failure and catastrophe. The past is a cancelled check. The future is a promissory note. The only currency you possess is this exact moment. Finally, you cannot control the world at large. The economy, politics, natural disasters, traffic. To be stressed by them is, as the Stoics would say, like a dog tied to a cart, trying to run in the opposite direction. The cart is going where it's going. The dog can either trot alongside it or be painfully dragged. The wise person learns to move with reality. The process of putting things in this second column is not resignation. It is liberation. It is the release. For each item you place here, you consciously say, "This is not mine to carry." You acknowledge it, but you refuse to let it drain your finite energy. You are setting down the stones one by one. All right, pause with me for a second. Unclench your jaw, relax your shoulders, let them drop. Take one slow, deep breath. Breathe in through your nose, and as you breathe out through your mouth, release. We've just looked at the two columns, the small territory of your choices and the vast landscape of everything else. This is the map. Now, let's learn how to use it. This is where the philosophy becomes a tool. I want to guide you through the exercise I call empty the backpack. You can do this with pen and paper, a notes app, or just in your mind. Step 1. The dump. First, get everything out of your head. Imagine opening that backpack and dumping all the stones onto the floor. Write down every single thing that is causing you stress, big or small. Don't filter, don't judge. Just get it all out. That unfinished report, the weird noise your car is making, a difficult conversation you need to have, your child's exams, everything. Step 2. The sort. Now, go through your list, item by item, and assign it to one of two columns. Column 1, within my control, or column 2, beyond my control, right? Be ruthless, be honest. Ask yourself, is this something I have direct, 100% control over? Is it my own action, my own judgment, my own effort? If the answer is anything less than a clear yes, it belongs in column 2. My child's exam results? Column 2. Helping my child study for 30 minutes tonight? Column 1. Step 3. The plan. Now, ignore column 2 for a moment and look only at column 1. This is your action list. This is where your power is. For every item, decide on the next small, concrete, physical action. Don't write finish project. Write open the document and write one paragraph. Don't write be healthier. Write put on my shoes and walk around the block. This transforms vague anxiety into a clear, manageable plan and trades the weight of worry for the momentum of action. Step 4. The release. This is the most important step. Turn your attention to your column 2. This is the 80%. Read each item one more time. The actions of others, the outcomes, the past, the future, and then consciously, deliberately let them go. You can say it out loud for each one. Whether my boss is impressed is beyond my control. I release it. This is not mine to carry. What happened last year is beyond my control. I release it. This is not mine to carry. This is how you empty the backpack. Use these affirmations to reinforce it. I focus my energy on what I can change. I release what is beyond my power. My peace depends on my response, not on the event. Feel the lightness. You haven't solved these external problems. You have recognized they were never yours to solve in the first place. Once you start emptying your backpack, you create space. Mental and emotional bandwidth is freed up. The question is, what do you fill that space with? The Stoic answer: gratitude. But this isn't the modern gratitude journal trend of just listing things. Stoic gratitude is a rigorous practice of appreciating what you have right now as if you might not have it tomorrow. It's a tool for grounding yourself in the present. Worry pulls you into a negative, imagined future. Gratitude pulls you back into the positive, actual present. It anchors you to the good that already exists, creating a stable foundation from which to deal with the uncontrollable. Here's how to practice this. Right now, notice 3 simple things. First, a point of physical contact. The chair supporting your back, your feet on the floor, the weight of your own hands. Be grateful for that solid point of contact with the world. Second, a sense. The quiet hum of a fan in the background, the feeling of the air on your skin, the taste of your last meal. Be grateful for the simple gift of perception. Third, your own body. The fact that you are breathing without any conscious effort, the fact your heart is beating. Be grateful for this incredible biological machine that carries you through the world. That's it. The chair, the air, your breath. It takes 30 seconds, but it yanks you out of the chaos of imagined futures and plants you firmly in the reality of now. And in this moment, you realize that you are okay. The catastrophes you're worried about are not happening right now. Let's pause again. Feel your feet on the ground. Feel the air fill your lungs. Breathe in and let it all go. As Seneca said, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Every time you bring yourself back to the present, you are stepping out of the imagined world where suffering is rampant and back into the real world where you have power. As you begin to practice this, your mind, long accustomed to worry, will put up resistance. Let's address the common hurdles. Hurdle number 1. But what if I really care about the outcome? People hear, let go of what you can't control, and think it means stop caring. Wrong. It's about shifting where you invest your care. You care deeply about your children's happiness, but their happiness is an outcome you don't ultimately control. So you redirect that immense care into things you can control. Being a patient and present parent, listening without judgment, modeling good values, creating a stable home. You pour your care into your actions, not the results of those actions. Hurdle number 2. This feels like giving up. It's too passive. This isn't passive resignation. It is a strategic retreat. A wise general doesn't send their troops to fight unwinnable battles. Your attention and energy are your army. When you worry about things you can't control, you're sending your troops on a suicide mission. When you practice the release, you're calling them back to fortify the only territory where they can win, the battlefield of your own choices. Hurdle number 3. I try to let go, but the worries keep coming back. Of course they do. Your brain has run on well-worn tracks of worry for years. You can't erase them overnight. Think of your mind as a garden. For years, weeds of worry have grown wild. The practice isn't about having a perfectly manicured garden in one day. It's about the daily act of tending to it. Every time a worry from column 2 pops up and you gently notice it and redirect your focus back to column 1, you've just done one mental rep. Each return of a worry is just another opportunity to practice. There is one final layer to this practice that cements its power. It's what the Stoics called the view from above. It puts your worries into their proper perspective. Right now, your problems feel enormous. That deadline, that argument, that financial stress, it feels like the most important thing in the universe. But now, imagine floating up, out of your room, above your home, above your city. See the millions of other people, all with their own dramas, their own urgent worries. Zoom out further. See the entire planet spinning silently in the vast, quiet darkness of space. From this vantage point, where is your urgent deadline? Where is that hurtful comment? They haven't vanished. They have shrunk to their proper size. Imagine watching seasons change in seconds, civilizations rise and fall. This moment of intense stress is a single fleeting storm cloud that will pass. This is not a morbid thought. It is a liberating one. It releases you from the tyranny of the immediate. It's the context for these final affirmations. I am free in my mind, regardless of circumstance. I embrace impermanence and flow with life's seasons. Gratitude grounds me in the present moment, which is all I truly have. When you see your life against this vast backdrop, what remains is your character, your actions, your choices in this moment. That is the only thing that truly, lastingly matters, so let's break it down. The vast majority of your stress comes from mentally engaging with things outside of your control. The Stoic fix is to systematically identify, acknowledge, and consciously release your attachment to them. We do this with the empty the backpack exercise. First, you dump every worry from your mind. Second, you sort each item into what you can and cannot control. Third, you make a plan of small concrete actions for everything in your control. And fourth, you consciously release everything that is not. Here is my challenge to you. Don't just let this be an interesting idea, put it into practice. Tonight, before you sleep, take out a piece of paper or open a notes app. Do the exercise. Dump, sort, plan, and release. Just try it once. See what it feels like to consciously set down the burdens that were never truly yours to carry. This isn't just a mental trick, it's a new operating system for your mind, a way to reclaim your peace and power in a chaotic world. You can't control the storms of life, but you can learn to be the calm, unshakable eye of your own hurricane. Your tranquility, your resilience, your freedom, these are the things that are truly up to you. If this message stirred something in you, if you're tired of feeling overwhelmed and ready for a change, then subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss what's next on this journey. And now, I want you to make this real for yourself. Make a commitment. Drop this simple affirmation in the comments if you're ready to take full ownership of your inner world. I focus on my actions. I release the outcomes. The act of writing it down is a powerful step. It's a declaration to yourself that you are taking back control, not of the world, but of the one thing that matters more, your peace. Congratulations! You made it to the end. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and I'm going to put a video on the screen that I think would do very well for further building your mental strength. And if you are still here, remember to like and subscribe before you go.